All right, Juhi, are we good to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Reena ma'am,
Yes, Shubham. Yes.
should we start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Good morning, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to extend you all a very warm welcome on the behalf of Pharmacracy. My name is Juhi Thakur and I am an intern at Pharmacracy. This webinar is the chapter of our education awareness program, which will throw light on pharmaceutical marketing. Basically, Pharmacracy is an organization that works for the pharmacist, by the pharmacist, and of the pharmacist. We believe in recognizing, identifying, and strengthening the unique capabilities of each student, promoting each student's holistic development in both academics and non academic spheres. The supportive environment here makes it a safe space to learn life skills such as communication, teamwork, cooperation, and resilience. In order to bridge the gap between the content that is covered in the curriculum and the skills required by the industry, PharmaCat came up with this initiative to create a platform which covers all the important aspects. Without taking any more time, I would like to invite the one who is the man of distinct vision, Mr. Pranav Ganatra, founder of PharmaCAD and Pharmacracy, to educate the audience about PharmaCAD and what all we have for the young minds and budding pharmacists. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, Johi, and good morning, Reena ma'am. Thank you so much for this introduction. And thank you so much, Reena ma'am, for joining us and giving us your time for the students' benefits. So what PharmaCAD is, I'll take very less time. PharmaCAD is working for the development of the students for higher education in India and abroad. And we are also focusing on the overall development of the students and not just the academic forefront. So because of which we have the activity called Pharmacracy, which is a student body. And we also have a monthly magazine called The Agonist, which is again a pharma magazine run by the students and teachers at PharmaCAD. So that's a basic intro about PharmaCAD, and I wouldn't take much time more. I would again thank the entire team of Pharmacracy, congratulate them for their consistent series of webinars, and again thank Reena ma'am for joining us for the session. Thank you so much, Johi, and thank you so much, ma'am, once again.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for enlightening us all. Moving forward, I will introduce my whole team, which is led by Mr. Nikhil Thukral, and he has done his MBA from SBM IMS. This is our entire team. Yeah. Moving forward, before we start, let me explain how you can talk to us during the webinar. If you have any questions during the presentation, there's a Google question and answer link. Just you have to click that link and write up your questions. It will automatically show up to us. Now, without any further delay, I would invite our speaker, Mrs. Reena Bhattacharya. The words are less to introduce her personality. She has completed her bachelor's and master's from DIPSAR, New Delhi. She has contributed in various firms by performing professional roles, including right from the product manager to marketing and strategy advisor, and also worked as a visiting faculty in the University of Delhi. Currently, she is the founder of Renuto Consulting, which helps pharmaceutical companies to prosper by her business through business development services. We all welcome you, ma'am. Platform is all yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Juhi, and thank you so much, Mr. Pranav. It's a great pleasure to meet all of you. And even before I begin my webinar, I would, even before I begin my session, I would just congratulate all of you, everyone at Pharmacracy, as well as every one like the founder, Mr. Pranav, who has taken this initiative for the benefit of students. In fact, in that line, I also through my association with the university as a visiting faculty, I also developed this passion of giving back to my profession through interactions with students. So that's what I love to do, and that's what I feel would actually help in developing future marketers for our pharma industry. Now, when I talk about the session that we would be covering today, the world of pharmaceutical marketing. First of all, let me just share my screen. Is the screen visible? Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so even before I get into pharmaceutical marketing, there's one thing which has always crossed my mind since the time I was a student of pharmacy. So when we studied and when today all of you are studying, one thing which was missing at that time when we used to study was an interaction between industry and the students. So we as students would be studying, and then we would be joining the industry. And the avenues that we knew at that time were R&D, and I think even QA and regulatory affairs was not known 25 years back, means when I actually graduated from college. But we would get to know after joining the industry what happens in the industry. So those kind of interactions were actually missing. Another thing which I always felt once I joined pharmaceutical marketing as a career option, that we were never really exposed to pharmaceutical marketing in our curriculum of pharmacy, be it the B Pharm and M Pharm. And we never had a pharmaceutical MBA, means MBA pharmaceutical management, during our times when we studied. So last few years, there's an MBA in pharmaceutical management. And last 2 years, I've seen through my interactions with various colleges and universities that we also have an elective subject in pharmaceutical marketing. So as a industry professional, I feel that somewhere pharmaceutical marketing, the profession that generates the maximum jobs in the pharmaceutical industry, has to be somewhere part of the core curriculum of pharmacy. Now, I don't know, means I'm just expressing my thoughts here before I actually take you through the pharmaceutical marketing. Now, why I am expressing these thoughts is that once you ask any student, even after they undergo the elective subject of pharmaceutical marketing, they are not really aware what exactly is pharmaceutical marketing. So when we tell people, okay, we are doing something in pharmaceutical marketing, or what exactly is pharmaceutical marketing, the various things that comes to the mind of people, the perceptions that people have is that, okay, is marketing selling? Is marketing creating good impressions amongst people? Is marketing, or pharma marketing, or any marketing, is all about just persuasive skills? Is marketing just about targets? Is marketing equivalent to advertising? Is marketing equivalent to generating profits for the company? So there are various perceptions that are in the people mind. Remember this story we have all studied during our childhood days, that an elephant and six blind men. So the same thing is actually there when we ask people, when we ask students about pharmaceutical marketing. So through this session today, I'll just touch upon some bit about what exactly is pharmaceutical marketing, and then what are the career options that you as students can see in pharmaceutical marketing in the Indian pharma industry. And not just Indian pharma industry, the pharmaceutical industry, we see it as a global pharma industry now. So there's a lot of avenues for all of you students who want to build a profession in pharmaceutical marketing. Okay, so I'll just quickly take you through. I think everyone has studied in the pharmacy that how a pharmaceutical product is developed, begins from preclinical, there's idea, then prototyping, product development, it is validated, then there are regulatory submissions, then the product or the new molecule goes through the clinical phase, various phases of clinical development. Then there's manufacturing, quality control, packaging, everything. So here, how the product is developing. So you see there is the complete R&D, there's quality control, there's regulatory, there's manufacturing. And then comes the commercial aspect. So what is the commercial aspect? Commercial aspect is something that is dealt with in marketing. So once the product is made into a finished formulation and it has to reach the customer. Now in pharmaceuticals, we all know that the finished formulation does not reach the customer or the consumer, that is the patient directly, but it reaches the consumer or the patient through the doctors. And how does it reach the patient? There's a lot of logistic channels, there's supply chain management, then there are pharmaceutical industry involved who would converse with the doctor, apprise the doctor about the formulations that are available in that company. Then there would be salespeople who would go and discuss the product with the doctor. And finally, that particular product will reach the patient. So what is happening is, and that it is not directly that we can do a selling directly to the patient or marketing directly to the patient that happens in any other kind of a product marketing, but a pharmaceutical marketing is a regulated market. So being a regulated market, even the marketing aspects of pharmaceutical marketing is regulated. So what is it? What are the claims that we can make? What can we talk in front of the doctor? And even if we have to talk to the patients directly, then what is it that exactly that we can talk to the patients also? We can talk about disease to the patients. So all those things we cover in the commercial aspects, or I can say that pharmaceutical marketing deals with all these aspects of the pharmaceutical business, pharmaceutical industry business. So what are the stakeholders? So here I'm talking about stakeholders of the entire pharma industry. So we as pharmaceutical industry, our stakeholders, our real customers are the healthcare professionals, the doctors, the policy makers, the government, because we regularly interact with the government to find the gaps. Like today you are seeing that so many pharma companies are interacting with the government to manufacture vaccines, to develop vaccines, import vaccines from other countries for the COVID, and then take it to the patients directly. The health consumers, the patients, they are our stakeholders, because what exactly is the pharmaceutical industry trying to do? We are trying to manage the patient, we are trying to manage the disease, and to give the best possible support to the patient. And the scientists and the R&D. So we have a big responsibility towards the humankind. Unlike any other industry, we are an industry which is responsible for the health of the humankind. So that's why our industry is really very important. So again, here I'll just means I can't really take you through the aspects of marketing, but what exactly are we trying to achieve in pharmaceutical marketing is we are trying to deliver two kind of experiences. Now, gone are the days, initially when the pharma industry began, it was talking about, okay, this is my formulation and this is the brand name with which this formulation is available in the market. And today, patients as well as the doctors, they want more than that. So here in this particular slide, what I tell you is that if you want to be a good marketer, you have to look at what is the customer experience that you are offering. Customer experience is the experience to the physician. How does the physician view you as a company? So from a brand, we have moved to the corporate branding. So what is it that says Sun Pharma as a company stands for? What is it that Cipla stands for? So you would have seen recently ads from Sun Pharma, something called Sankalp, wherein they are addressing the needs of standing with the doctors, that there are so many doctors who are leaving this world in the service of patients, and there is a family who stands behind the doctors, and how Sun Pharma is actually trying to build a future for the family of the doctors. So that's something which they have tried to convey through that ad. So what I'm trying to say is that we as pharma marketers, we are responsible for the customer experience and the patient experience. And how do we do that? So customer here is the doctor, because we do not reach to the patient, the consumer directly. So we have to reach the patient through the doctor. So we do continuing medical education, we are offering connected health, then there is sales force effectiveness, that techniques that we are using as marketers to reach to our customers in a better way. We design, as marketers, we design communication. What is it that we will be going to discuss with the doctors? We are doing something for the patients. We update the patients about the disease, how the patients can manage the disease as well. We are responsible for the supply chain management. Now, today you would be seeing that so many companies are investing so much in offering the best price to the patient. So they are improving their supply chain structure. They are trying to make collaborations with 1mg and other companies who are offering discounts to so that the medicine is delivered directly to the patients. So companies, pharma companies today are investing a lot into technology to improve their supply chain so that their product is more economical when it reaches to the patients. So marketing, I feel, is the soul of any organization, and it is creating value for patients, customers, organization, and its people. Okay, so the core of pharmaceutical marketing. Now, if somebody gets into pharmaceutical marketing or somebody enrolls to do MBA in pharmaceutical management, or somebody gets into a normal MBA, non-pharma MBA, a broad MBA, then the core of pharmaceutical marketing talks about product, price, place, and promotion. So, what is the product? What is the brand that you're talking about? How are you going to price it? How do you price it that way? Why do you price it that way? What are the various factors that you take into consideration while pricing a product? Then where will your product be available? Places, that means the supply chain, or where can I go and purchase the product? Today it has to be available online through digital mode also. And what is the promotion that we are doing? So these are the 4 P's, as they are called in pharmaceutical marketing, or any marketing, I would say, not just pharma marketing. In addition to that, today companies have realized that it's important to invest on people, training people, developing the soft skills of people, developing the technical skills of people. Because pharma marketing being a regulated market, we can't just do marketing. We have to know the product inside out. We have to know the clinical development of the product. So how are the companies investing on the people in the organization? So we as marketers, we are also involved in training and development of the sales team by developing the people who would actually have a direct interface with the doctors who are our intermediate customers. What are the processes that the company has defined? What are the loyalty programs that we have created? How do we measure performance of our people? What are the various partnerships that we have once we are promoting our products? So all these things form the essence of pharmaceutical marketing, or this would be actually a sense of any marketing. But in pharmaceutical marketing, or we are as marketers responsible for managing product, price, place, promotion, people and their training, developing the processes for the company, developing the marketing programs for our brand that we handle. How do we measure the performance of people and brand, and how do we nurture new relationships for the product? So all those things we do as pharmaceutical marketers. So what all possibilities we have, and as I said, why do we exist? We exist for the patients. So we exist for the patients, and we exist for the customers. So customer centricity as well as the patient centricity is the future that every pharmaceutical marketer, every pharmaceutical company is looking forward to. So as I said, we are not today doing just branding. Okay, this is the formulation available with this brand. No, what is that extra that we are offering in terms of patient centricity? How are we positioned as a company which exists for the benefit of the patients? So as pharmaceutical marketers, we are involved in imparting disease information to the patients by creating and offering quality medicines at the required storage conditions in the right way to the patients, by offering affordability, accessibility. Because remember, any marketing would fail if the product is not easily accessible to the patients. I think please check, because I am getting the request for admitting somebody into the session, right? So, okay. So availability, then technical support to the patient. If say, for example, we are a marketer who is dealing with a medical device, then how do we offer technical support to the patient? Diet information, customer support, patient support groups. So if there's a long-term, a chronic disease, diabetes, somebody is suffering from diabetes, somebody is suffering from cancer, somebody is suffering from inflammatory bowel disease. So all these are chronic diseases in which patient is not just going through physical problem in his body, but he's also mentally affected. So there are patient support groups also, which we as pharmaceutical marketers are involved into. And thus we offer patient centricity, or we stand, means patient is the center of all the activity that we do. We create diagnostic camps, patient meetings, etc. And then at the end of customer, who is the doctor. So we are actually working to improve the practice of the doctor. How do we do that? We help him diagnose the disease better. We help him stay updated on the information about the disease, about the product. We apprise him of the therapy guidelines. information dissemination, then academic and clinical research, continuing medical education for the doctor. Even today with connected health, pharma industry is also working to generate real-time patient data, which would help in the management of disease of the patient in a better way. So these are some of the things that we do as pharmaceutical marketers. Now there's a lot of things that changed in marketing, especially pharma marketing, before and after COVID, or during the COVID time, I should say, because we are still in that COVID time. The doctor company interface changed, which was earlier physical, but now it's both physical and digital. So we call it phygital. And eventually, lots of things are going to move digital, like the digital engagements have increased. Telemedicine, which earlier people would not accept, they are also now part of a regular part of patient interaction. E-pharmacies are a reality today, and so many pharma companies also are investing in e-pharmacies. Sales reporting and analytics, so that is happening in a big way. So the companies are investing more on how do we make the sales call more effective, rather than just counting that how many doctors did a salesperson meet. Now, why I've covered this in our presentation is because all this thing also, as a pharmaceutical marketer, you are responsible to know what is happening around the world, and even if it is not happening inside our industry, but what are the things which I can actually imbibe from the other industry and do it in my own pharma industry. So all these uh, uh, say idea generation and implementation and configuring that idea to the pharma industry is done by the marketing and strategy team, which if you get into pharma marketing, so eventually you could be part of all these things, integrated supply chain and tracking. So all those things which changed from earlier physical and are moving towards digital. Presently, so many things are into the digital sphere. Okay, so I think I would not go into this. So what are the things that have changed pre-COVID and post-COVID? So this is means just some companies which I've put in here. So as a pharmaceutical marketer, you can enter into the core pharma industry, into the companies which are actively working in the field of pharmaceutical. You can be part of the medical device industry. You can be part of the consulting companies. So there are various avenues that open in front of you once you choose pharmaceutical marketing as a profession. So what do we do as a marketer? We look at what are the things happening. We look at the sales data. So we look at the historical data, and we do forecasting. So we look at primary data, we look at secondary data. So secondary data is the data that is published already, and we do a lot of market research as a marketer and create our own primary data, and then we utilize all that learning to do various things. We get our own market intelligence, we do forecasting, we get into marketing, we create business reports, we create what product should be part of our portfolio. So we do portfolio management. So these are the various things that you do as a pharmaceutical marketer when you enter a pharma industry. So now I'm going a little too fast because I would like that more time we can devote to the question and answers, because that would also I would be able to throw more light, maybe some of the things I can touch upon when we get into a question and answer session. So as a pharmaceutical marketer, you can be part of the product management team, the core marketing team that handles brands. You can be part of the strategy team, which creates strategies, not just for the brands, but also for the company as a whole. So what do we mean when we are creating strategy for a company? So in line with the company's vision, which are the products that we need to add to our portfolio? What say a particular product that we have, at what stage of marketing is that product today? Is it a star product? Is it a cash cow? Is it generating profits for the company? How do we create future cash cows for the company? Say if you, for example, if you think about a brand like Betadine is a cash cow for the company. That means it is such an old brand today. Even if the company doesn't promote Betadine, Betadine has reached such a stage that the doctors who have continued to use betadine since ages, or the patients who have continued to use betadine since ages, they will continue to use it. So, lot of marketing effort may not need to go behind betadine, but betadine is generating a lot of profit for the company. But how do we create a star product for tomorrow, which can become a future cash cow to generate profit for the company? So all those things also we learn to do when we are part of the marketing team or the strategy team. Then commercial planning team, that how do you launch a particular product, which are the doctors that you target, how do you segment the market, so which all specialities of doctors will you go to, or which all cities do you plan to launch a particular product. So if it's a highly specialized product, if it's a highly specialized medical device, do you want to go all out into India, or you want to go in some specific cities to begin with? So all those strategies are created when you are part of the marketing team. You are also supposed to do portfolio management. So you look at market attractiveness of the product vis-a-vis the business strength of your company, and then you decide that which are the products that need to be added in my company who would build a strong portfolio so that my company can last for a long period of time in the future. Then as a part of marketing team, you do competitive intelligence also. There are various departments nowadays. Earlier we used to be doing all these things. Today the pharma companies have got various departments which do all these things. So somebody will be doing competitive intelligence, somebody would be planning the launch activities, somebody would be doing the business development part, the portfolio management part. So all that thing is done when you are part of the marketing team. Now the marketing team also creates various apps. As I said, we are moving from physical to digital. So there is a lot of training activity for the medical reps, for the sales team, that happens through these apps and various bots which are part of these apps. So all that thing is also conceptualized by us as a part of the marketing team. Maybe the IT team or some other technical person might create an app, but we are the part of the ideation, we are the part of the designing what all things we want in that particular interface. So those things are also part of the activities that a marketing person do. Now, as I said, today's companies are investing a lot into digital technologies. Like so many companies, you see Glenmark, Alembic, Ipca, Lupin, Cadila Healthcare. All these companies have invested in this company called ABCD Technologies, which would be working a lot in the field of supply chain management. So this is a company yet to generate a revenue, not too old a company, maybe 2 years old back the company had started. But all these pharma companies, because they want to create their supply chain structure which is futuristic, so these companies, these core pharma companies have invested in this particular company. So as a pharmaceutical marketer, as I said, you have to think futuristic. You are sitting in the present, but you have to know what will happen in the future, and then you envisage that these are the kind of collaborations and partnerships that I have to get done for the benefit of my company and for the future of my organization. Similarly, as I said, so many companies entering into the e-pharmacy. So that's also happening today because nobody wants to be left behind. Everyone wants to be part of this new thing, e-pharmacy, and which also got accepted, especially during the time of COVID. Then this is something which you as product managers or product executives, I've highlighted certain things that as brand managers, as part of the marketing team, we are responsible for marketing and promotional mix to meet the brand objectives. You will act as brand champions to create interaction and enthusiasm amongst customers. You understand and present the market requirements of current and future prospects by doing market research, by visiting your customers. Then you are part of the creating of the literature that needs to be used for discussion with the key opinion leaders or the doctors. So you interact with the medical affairs, medical team to do that. So, okay. Then you as marketing person are also part of the brand launching, then strategy, all these things, then patient education, which I've already covered. So these are some of the things which, as a pharmaceutical marketer in an active pharmaceutical company, you are supposed to be doing. Then there is a lot of scope of pharmaceutical marketing in consulting companies also. Today we see that in various universities and colleges, we have seen that there are so many recruitments which happen at the consulting companies. So in the consulting companies, you may not be part of the core brand management, core marketing activities that I discussed earlier, but you would be doing a lot of business intelligence, competitive intelligence, offering business process solutions, how to create interfaces for interactions with the doctors, then some means consulting solutions for brand management. You would not be part of the active brand management because that's what the company would be doing, but you may offer certain consultancy to the active pharmaceutical company for brand management. Then you may create reports which offer help to the pharmaceutical companies to create and expand their portfolio and pipeline. So these are some of the things which, as pharmaceutical marketers, you can do in consulting companies. And this is how your growth path looks like in a pharmaceutical company. You may join as management trainee, then product executive, product manager, group product manager, marketing manager, GM marketing, and you finally become head of India or global business. So you would see that so many heads of business of pharmaceutical companies in India and the world, so many people started from management training jobs or from sales and marketing jobs, and then they have risen to the heads of the companies. Okay, so once you decide that you want to explore building a career in pharmaceutical marketing, I would say some of the skills that you need to develop is read a lot, stay up to date, what is happening in the pharma industry in India and across the globe, what are the new products getting approved, or how are they getting marketed. Then question, how can I improve certain things, because that will add to your skills as a marketer. Can I improve the supply chain today when so many people are seeing that, okay, healthcare delivery is becoming a problem? So can I find a solution in my company? How do we take our medicine to the remotest corners of India? That will give you some idea, and that will create a future pipeline for your company. Then look the part, of course, means once you are doing all the things, once you are a pharmaceutical marketer, once you are a brand manager, you are a head of the brand, so you just look that part as well. Network with a lot of people, learn what is happening. So LinkedIn is a very good platform to do that. Do a lot of internships in various departments to learn what all things are happening in the market. Learn to the voice of customer, because it's very, very important in pharmaceutical marketing or any marketing. So what is the customer thinking? What are the problems that the customer is facing, the consumer is facing? So what are the problems that doctor is facing? Like today, the doctors were facing problems of reaching out to patients. So some companies even created solutions so that doctors could interact with the patients during the COVID times. And what are the problems patients are facing in terms of their interactions with the doctors? How do we make those interactions more productive? So all those things, if you are deciding to be a part of the pharmaceutical marketing as a career, just open your eyes and develop your skills in these ways. So that's it, which I have in terms of my presentation today and the various skills that you have. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. And I think let's now throw open the forum for the question and answers. I think I took more time.
Yeah, no, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, we learned so many new things. Thank you, ma'am. Let's begin with question answer session. Vindhya, please present the screen. Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am,
So
here we have a question.
Yeah.
What does a fresher have to do initially in marketing?
Okay. So when we talk about a profession of marketing, there are different ways how people enter in the field of marketing. As I said, as a fresher, when you join a company without any experience, of course you are, either you join after doing MBA pharmaceutical management, or if somebody has just done B Pharm and wants to join marketing, then I think a good way would be to get into sales for some time, get into pharmaceutical selling, because as I said, interacting with customers is very, very important. So once you interact with the customers, once you are into sales for some time, pharmaceutical selling for some time, then you stand a good chance to enter into pharmaceutical marketing. But there are certain companies who would take you as management trainees in the beginning, and then you would be given exposure to various departments, such as say a week, in a month, you may have to work in meet the customers, so you are part of the selling. Then you understand how does logistics work in our company. Then you are assigned a brand and you are assigned under a brand manager, and you get to learn the nitty-gritties of the brand, right? And there are some companies who may take you into competitive intelligence, so you see, you keep an eye on what is the competition doing in the brand that you have been assigned. Say if you have been assigned Betadine, so what are the various other brands? There's Cipladine, there's Vocadine, there's Soframycin. What are those brands doing? And you collect information, and then you see, okay, how do I fare against those brands? What do I do? What are the future therapies that are coming in the, say, management of sepsis? Can we create a brand like that? So all those things. So initially you may be part of selling, you may be part of means the brand management team as a management trainee, and you might have to, means you would not be actively given a brand to handle, but you would have to interact with the customers, you would have to gather competitive knowledge, you would have to say, for example, do prescription analysis. You would be, there are various softwares which are available, so you would do analysis, and then you will learn how to read those reports and how to uh, apply the information that you got through the prescription analysis into the brand that you are handling as a management trainee or a brand manager. So those are the things that you may have to do as a fresher initially in the marketing. But yes, you can be part of any of the things that I talked about. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Completely understood. Next, we have Bhavya. She's asking, how do I decide if going into marketing would be a good decision for me if I have not done any related internship till date or don't have any relevant experience in this field? How important is having done internship in UG if I plan on going MBA after this?
Yeah, that's a very intelligent, very interesting question as well. It's always a good idea, because if, say, I do not know what do I want to do, whether I want to get into research or I want to get into marketing, then it's always a good idea that you have 4 years of your B Farm. So you do an internship in marketing, you do an internship in R&D, you get an internship in some consulting firm company, and then you would actually understand whether you want to get into marketing or not, because sometimes some people have may have hangups. I would say that no, I don't want to go and meet customers, I want a desk job. So there are some students who then pick up a consulting company because that's a desk job that you are doing. We don't want a direct interface with the customer. But there are certain students who would like to see, okay, what are the problems that the customer is facing, even if it's a doctor or a patient. And those things you would get to understand once you are doing internship. So it's really, really important to do internship to finally come to a conclusion whether this is the field that I want to get into or not, right? So that would be a good idea, that you do certain internships. Let it be in a consulting firm, even if it's a free internship, I would say. Sometimes do not just tie yourself that, okay, let me get some money through an internship. Do an internship to learn about what are the various areas that are available in our pharmaceutical industry, and then decide depending upon which was the work that you enjoy doing the most. And then maybe if you plan to do an MBA after that, then you can always do that.
Yes, ma'am. Next, we have Satnam. What are the various job prospects for MBA students? Can one switch from consulting after 3 to 5 years and join core marketing in pharmaceutical industry?
Yeah, of course. And Satnam is my own student. Yeah, and I can understand where he's coming from. Of course, this is, I would say, consulting industry experience. So if, even if somebody is in forecasting, somebody is into competitive intelligence, somebody is into report making into a consulting firm, and then the person wants to enter the pharmaceutical industry, of course, means rather than joining directly the product management team, if you want to join the product management team, the company would of course expect from you that you are joining as a management training and then management trainee, and then you grow in the product management team. So a better idea would be to join the competitive intelligence team or the commercial development team or the strategy team in a pharmaceutical industry, because these options, or even a business development team, if you were part of competitive intelligence in a consulting company, then it's better to join strategy team or a business development team or a commercial development team to use the experience that you have gathered in the consulting field. And then once you are part of that company, then some maybe a year or two down the line, you can be a part of the active product management team. So if you want to actually do away with starting from again management training thing, because sometimes people feel, okay, I've worked 2 3 years in a consulting firm, why do I again go back and start from management training? I've already risen a certain level in the consulting firm. But we have seen people from consulting also are joining in the portfolio management team, in the business development team. So I think that would be a good idea to join through that route. And then once you are established in that company, so there are options in the companies wherein you can move to various departments depending upon the expertise that you showcase once you join the pharma company per se. So I hope I have answered this question of Satnam.
Yes, ma'am. Next, we have Mandeep. What are other techniques with which we can market a drug except digital marketing and running advertisements on TV?
Okay. In fact, once we are talking about pharma marketing, we cannot market we do not do digital marketing, means too much of a digital marketing and running advertisements of TV, because we are not allowed to do that if it's a prescription drug. So we can use the route of digital marketing or running advertisements on TV if our product is an OTC kind of a product. So you would see that there are certain products which are now getting promoted on television, which were earlier prescription products but are now being promoted as OTC. So those products can be promoted as means through digital marketing and advertisements on TV. But if we talk about the regular prescription drugs, we have to promote it to the doctors. And then even when means we can't really promote it on TV, we can't promote it on Facebook, or we can't do the regular digital marketing in various social media sites for those products. But how we can do digital marketing is we can talk about the disease, like Asthalin, Cipla is doing when they are talking about disease management of asthma, but they are not promoting Asthalin directly. That promotion has to be done to the doctor. Yes, we can promote to the doctors digitally, which the companies are doing today, but that digital promotion is directed directly to the doctor and not towards the consumer or the patient. So if the drug is a prescription drug, we cannot do digital marketing, and we cannot advertise on TV except if there's a company which is present in the US. In the US market, it is allowed that you can have advertisements running for prescription drug on TV, but it's not allowed in India. So you have to go through the route of doctor.
Okay. Yeah. Here we have an anonymous question. What are the essential tech skill and soft skills will be much important for pharmaceutical marketing? What does the companies consider the most during interviews?
Okay. So in terms of the technical skills, I would say the companies would expect you to know, means of course, if you are not a marketer already, they cannot ask you something about the brand per se, but they would expect you to know what is happening in the market. So somebody may give you a case study, something like that, okay, this is a brand, this is facing this problem. So what do you suggest as a marketer? So you may have to apply your logical reasoning skills, your some application of knowledge of marketing. So that kind of a thing, the companies would expect you to apply once solving that case study. So in terms of technical skills, of course, the knowledge of say the scientific knowledge, the technical knowledge that we gain in our curriculum of pharmacy, that remains important. So somebody may talk about, okay, we are may give you a case study, something like we are launching a product for disease management, so for diabetes management. So you need to know something about diabetes. So coming from a pharmacy field, you need to know that. So that is the maybe the technical skill that you may have. And if you are if you are wanting to join directly into marketing, then if you have done your pharmaceutical MBA or an MBA from other institute, which is not a pharma MBA also, then your marketing knowledge, your strategy knowledge, your segmentation, how do you have idea how the market is segmented, how the product is positioned, what are the various factors that are taken into consideration to market a product, something related to 4Ps as we discussed. So those are the technical skills that the companies would expect you to know. In terms of soft skills, companies would expect you to be good in communication, to have a good clarity of communication. So communication is very important. Your presentability is very important. How confident you are about what you are saying, that's very important. So these are the skills which are important. Your time management skills are very important, because when we are marketing a product, we have a complete calendar for the entire year. So how do you manage your time? How means whether you respect time or not. So all those skills are very important when you appear for an interview for marketing with any company.
Okay, means like we have to be well aware of the current situations and that we have to apply in front of the interviewer while answering the
Yes,
question.
yes. So if you are actually thinking, as I said in my last slide, as I showed, that if you actually want to enter into marketing, not just your pharma market, I'm saying that even if something is happening in the field of some other industry, like artificial intelligence, it's happening in some other industry at the moment, but how do we imbibe some bit of it into pharma industry? So can you actually think in a, I would say, interdisciplinary way? Can you actually do you actually know what is happening in the other industries which can be actually imbibed in my industry? Like if you talk about hospitals like Apollo healthcare management, it is said that in the future even healthcare management people will have to learn a lot from the hotel industry, because you are actually servicing a patient. So it's not just the hanji means doctor has come and treated the patient, but when a patient is getting admitted in a hospital like Apollo or Fortis or Medanta, they want a kind of service. So even a pharma industry, as a marketer, pharma marketer, or as a healthcare professional, we healthcare provider, we have to know that how do we impart good service to our customers, be it a patient, be it a doctor. So all those skills would also be equally important. So you need to know what is happening in the other industries, what are the things that we can learn from the other industries, because that will make you a good futuristic marketer. So you may know the technical things, okay, you have been taught certain things in the MBA, if somebody has done an MBA, but what do you know? What are the other things that you know which would be actually a differentiator for you as against some other candidate which is appearing in that interview? So you need to be well aware of what is happening around you in your industry or even outside your industry. So that's a very good thing to develop. Start reading a lot and subscribe to lots of news updates, pharma updates also, and non-pharma things also. Start reading those things and then you would become a good marketer. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Got it. Next, we have Anvesha. What are the career scope as well as growth in pharmaceutical marketing? Will a student who belong to cosmetics field will be able to make career in pharmaceutical marketing?
Yeah, of course. Growth, I think I've talked about in my slides only, that somebody can join as a management trainee, then he or she becomes part of the product management team as a product executive, and then product manager, and then can be a business head or a vice president sales and marketing. So all those things can happen. The growth of pharma in the pharma marketing field. Then regarding the question, somebody belonging to cosmetic fields, of course, I would say that even when you are appearing for an interview of marketing, how much knowledge you have about the field of marketing, be it pharma marketing, be it cosmetic marketing, be it cosmeceutical marketing. So how do you apply the principles of marketing in front of people who are interviewing you, and how means again, rather than means, I would say, how much have you learned beyond your curriculum? That is very important. One is that, okay, every one of you would read the same curriculum in the university or college where you are studying, but how much beyond that, what is the kind of knowledge that you have gathered that would help you make a career in pharmaceutical marketing, despite the fact whatever field you are, whether you are into cosmeceutics or you are into core pharmaceuticals branch. So that would not make a difference. Yeah. Your concepts have to be clear about pharmaceutical marketing.
Yeah, ma'am. Got it. Next, we have Sonal. If I have discovered new synthetic route for any drug or excipient, then how should I approach to different companies? Or can I just start new company which makes those API and sell them to pharmaceutical company? Which one will be more profitable in future?
Okay, fine. Okay, now say for example, starting a new company means if you have the funds to do that, that can be done. But otherwise, if you actually feel that you have made a great discovery, you can pitch in your product to various companies, write to those, means the current pharma companies, you can start writing to them if it's a new drug or an excipient that you have discovered. And with the again, I would say, what value addition does your drug or an excipient give to that company who maybe wants to purchase that drug or excipient from you, or wants to partner with you for technology transfer. So there are various ways those things can be done. But again, in that also, I would say, once you are communicating about your new drug or excipient or a method of say synthetic route for manufacture of that drug, if you have discovered, then when you communicate with that company to whom you want to sell that product, you should have clear benefits of that product or that method of manufacturing or that excipient in front of you, to create interest in the pharmaceutical company who would actually want to purchase your product. Starting your own company is a good idea if you can do that. But again, even when you start a new company, you will have to find a buyer who wants to buy your product or wants to buy your technology, wants to buy your excipient. So that would also require the same amount of selling. So I would suggest, if you actually have created something which is unique, something which is new, then write it for yourself. That sometimes when we create something, we feel that it is unique. How is it this product or excipient or drug, how is it unique? Do you have a patent? Get a patent protection, even if it's an excipient, even if it's a route of manufacturing, because you get a process patent also. So get your intellectual property in place, and then you can give that intellectual property on say subscription basis to a company. There are various ways how you can sell that thing to a company. You can sell it on a subscription basis. You can rent your intellectual property. You can take a royalty on your intellectual property, or you give the entire rights to the pharmaceutical industry. But first of all, create that intellectual property, like a patent for that unique thing that you have created. So you get a product patent if you have a drug or excipient that you have discovered. If it's a new method of manufacturing that drug or excipient, then you can get a process patent. So apply for that. You'll have to speak to an IP attorney for that. And then you can, after that, start interacting with the companies. Because if you don't have an IP in your name, intellectual property or a patent in your name, then somebody can just copy your product. See, if you start talking to a company or some distributor in between, they can just copy your product because you are not protected. You don't have a patent protection for you. So first get that protection, and then you can either start your own company, or you can means give the intellectual property rights to some other company. Both of the things can be done. I hope I have answered. Yeah. Okay.
Next, we have a question. Vindhya, can you change the slide?
Oh no, this is the old question. Yeah. Do
Yeah.
we go for a job in marketing, or should
Ma'am.
farm MBA person? Okay.
How to get internships in Pharm MBA if the college is not providing us such facilities?
Yeah. Again, I would say today LinkedIn is a very good platform. Connect with people, and people also post internships, about internships. And even if somebody is not posting, you should first of all know what all internships do I want to do. So I want to intern in a marketing department. I want to intern in strategy department. I want to intern in a commercial department. What do I want to do? And then start writing to those people. So, and please understand, it is not going to be that easy if you have to do it by yourself. So even if you write to 100 people, maybe 10 may come back to you, and then you interview with those people, and then you may get selected. But it's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it, worth the amount of hard work that you will have to input, because there's nothing better than an internship to learn what you want to learn. So there's one knowledge that you learn in your college or university, and there's one working knowledge that you will get to learn once you do an internship. So get into an internship, you'll have to connect with people first of all on LinkedIn, and then write to them, and then get an internship. And I'll then come to the first question that you asked, that do we first go for job in marketing, or should we do pharma MBA first and then go for a job? Either ways, you will have to take a call. If you want to finish your education first, you can do a pharma MBA if you have decided to do that. Or if you want to, like with me, you know what happened, even if I had given my gate exam, during our time, your GMAT exam used to be called, no, GPAT, what you give nowadays, it was known as gate exam in our times. So I hadn't decided whether I want to do MPharm or not at that particular time. So what I did was I did a job for 2 months in between BPharm and MPharm, and that was into sales. So I got a feel of what exactly is a selling job, and then I thought, no, I would not get into active selling, I want to get into marketing. But I at least got to understand how to talk with the customer, what is the information that we get from a customer. So that way, I think that experience you can get through an internship also. There are internships for market research also. So those internships will also give a lot of information about what are you getting into. So do those internships, or if you have actually decided that I want to get into pharma MBA, get that MBA done. Or after B Farm, like you want to get into sales first, then do get into a selling job for a year or so, and then do your pharma MBA. So either ways, it's right. So if you do your pharma MBA first and then you begin your career, so that is also good, that you complete your education first and then get into a job. So that would be entirely dependent on the life situation that you are into. So, but I would say that even if you want to do more internships, that is also equivalent to doing a job. So every semester do an internship. So that can be managed even if it's a 1 month kind of an internship. So that will give you a good experience about how pharma marketing looks like. Right. So sometimes do an internship in market research, sometimes do an internship in competitive intelligence, sometimes do an internship into sales. So that way you'll get to have a feel of various subjects that you will be exposed to in pharma MBA.
Yeah, ma'am. Questions are just popping out, but we have to stop here because consulting, we have one more webinar tomorrow, so it is correlated. So we would be also covering it. This one is the last question from
No,
Bikram.
no issue. If you want to take few more questions, because I know means if somebody has got questions related to pharma marketing, I can of course take them right away, right?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can take it for maybe 10-15 minutes more if you want. So as a marketer, how do you contribute to the patient in educating them, stop the self-medication? What are the actions? Okay, so there are various means. This is the means actually creating the marketing communications for the patients. So how do we do? There are various campaigns that companies launch in terms of talking about that. Like earlier, I remember a few months back or a year back, there was a campaign on antibiotic resistance by, I don't remember which company did that. Was it GSK or somebody else? I think it was GSK, Augmentin, yes. So they did that campaign wherein they talked about that if you, and there were newspaper ads for that campaign. They said that uh, so many times when we are seriously ill and some medications do not work. Why does that happen? Because when sometimes say we have a normal cough and cold and we don't know, even if it's a severe cough, we decide that okay, we need to take an antibiotic, and we take an antibiotic. And maybe at that time it was just a viral cough and you didn't need to take an antibiotic. So many times you take an antibiotic, and then actually when someday you need an antibiotic, that antibiotic is not working for you. So they explained this concept of antibiotic resistance in a beautiful way, and what they try to communicate is that please do not self medicate. So if you have, at least in the case of antibiotics, if you have to take paracetamol, you can take it, means depending upon if you want to take it yourself. But for serious products like antibiotics, please do not self-medicate. So that way, there's a proper storyboarding that needs to be done. So as a marketer, even though I could not touch because of the paucity of time, so many things, there is a lot of storyboarding that happen, that what is the core message that I want to give. So if it's self-medication process, is it related to antibiotic usage or is it related to something else? Then we create a story around that. Sometimes we create that story ourselves, or sometimes we create that story through say your advertising agencies, the with whom we as pharma marketers work with, and then we create a campaign to, if you are just talking about the self medication process, then what are the actions that you take to ensure that the medicines you are selling reaches to the right person, pharmacist who responsibly dispense them. Okay, so again, this happens to the supply chain management, and there's a lot of work which is today being done to actually differentiate between the actual product and the counterfeit product, because counterfeit products have also increased so much in our industry. So those things also are being done. Companies, they sometimes change their packaging, sometimes they would have holograms on their packaging. So all those things ensure that the right product is reaching the right pharmacy. And in terms of responsibly dispensing them, I think some of the things what we as pharma companies, when we interact to the retail pharmacists, we tell them, okay, these are the products, please do not dispense them directly to the patients. But we know the situation that is there in India, so we as pharma companies cannot means it's beyond our scope to completely stop the irresponsible dispensing sometimes by the chemists. But as pharmaceutical companies, when our sales and marketing people interact with the retail pharmacists, we tell them that these are the serious things, serious side effects which a patient can get exposed to if you are dispensing them directly as retail pharmacists to the patients, rather than a doctor prescribing that product and then the patient consuming that medicine. So again, that would depend on a case-to-case basis. But yes, we need to know what exactly is the issue that we are addressing, and then we create a strategy how to address that issue as a marketer. I just hope I've answered that, Vikram. Okay, I think
This one is last, ma'am. What would be the right path for moving into career of international business and PMT tram after completing pharma MBA?
Okay, so again, when you talk about international marketing, companies, I'm aware that pharma companies in India do not take people directly into international marketing directly. So what they do normally is they would take you into the domestic business team in the PMT. And then after 2-3 years of working in the domestic business team, again, as I said, you need to discuss with your superiors that you have an interest in international business. Or sometimes there's an opening that comes in the company and then you apply internally. That can happen. And also that if you are good in domestic business, you have established the product well, and then they promote you and make you a part of the international business. So these are the various ways how you can enter into international marketing in pharmaceutical in the same company, or when, say, after working with in the PMT department of one company, you can move to the international business development or international business marketing team of some other company when you change jobs. But if you are working in the same company, normally they would take you into the domestic business first and then move you into international business depending upon your interest as well as your capabilities. Directly, very few companies take students into international marketing immediately after they complete the pharma MBA. So that's rarely done. So it happens after you have a stint of working in the domestic pharma PMT.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one last question from my side.
Yeah.
As earlier you mentioned about our basics should be clear and we should be well aware of all the theoretical aspects of pharma marketing. So, does the online courses have any stand? Like now we are free, if we have free time. So, do we give time to certificate courses? Do they has any importance in our curriculum, like CV? If we
Yeah.
mention it?
Yeah. One is importance in the CV. I would say one is for my own self development, right? So don't just see everything because I've seen there are very good courses in even edX, right? So I have not seen courses on Coursera, but I've seen
Hmm.
IIMB, means
Hmm.
Bangalore, IIM Ahmedabad, then even certain international universities, Harvard, etc., also offering short-term courses on various topics related to marketing. Like I would just suggest you say there's a very good course on, in IM from IM Bangalore for marketing management. There's a very good course for strategic management. So this is available on edX. I think it would cost you, I don't remember the cost, but I think you can check the cost. So one thing is if you want a certificate, then you have to enroll on the course,
Yeah.
or there's an option you can just do the course without enrolling in, then you don't get a certificate, but you get to uh, view all the videos, etc., for a period of 1 month, right? But then end of the, you would not be able to give an exam and you would not get a certificate. So it's just for your own learning. If you are doing, you can do that. But if you want to upgrade that course into a paid course, then you get a certificate after you give an exam. There are 2 exams that happen in that edX course, but that's a good course because I've seen and recommended that course to many people, marketing management and strategic management course. And those are, means they have explained it very beautifully. And even if, say for example, if you start doing your pharma MBA from whatever college, even if you are doing from BIPSAR, or you're doing from NIMS, or you are doing from any other college in Mumbai or anywhere else, it's those courses are very good. Means so say if you are doing it from NIPER or some other university in India, so you do another course from there and you get a certification also. And even if you don't want a certification, then just do it for your learning part, right? Because I've seen they have explained it really well.
Yeah.
So those things would help you not just in your learning, they would also help you in your interviews. They would also give you depth, and they also imbibe certain case studies. So those things would help you improve your knowledge of marketing as well.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Like so many new points we learned today. Like it was really an enlightening session.
Thank you,
So,
Judy.
yeah, ma'am. Yeah, thank you. Now, we would conclude with this. We are approaching at the end. As promised, we'll provide all the students with a graded certificate according to your performance in the short assessment test. Like link would be provided you in your WhatsApp groups, and it would be open for 24 hours. That is by tomorrow. And all of you are requested to take a screenshot of this particular page and save it with yourself. These are the steps you have to follow for accessing the quiz. Top 30% scorers of this quiz will receive a discount of 20% of PharmaCAD courses, which can be availed on the app itself. Make sure you complete this before time limit to make place in top 30%. Prior to winding it up, I would also like to inform you all about our next webinar on the topic of management consulting. And our speaker is Mr. Virendra Kumar, and it's held on 18 July, tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you want to register, link is posted in the WhatsApp group. Hope to see you all there. Now, on the behalf of the whole team of Pharmacracy, would extend my most sincere thanks to our guests of the event and all the dignitaries that have been part. Thank you for sparing some time this weekend. I also extend my heartiest gratitude towards Pranav sir for helping us with conducting this event. I would also extend my gratitude towards all the participants for their utmost patience and presence. Thank you so much. And ma'am, it was really a nice learning experience with you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, and thank you so much. I would also like to end saying that if you guys want, means I know this particular session was more like a trailer for what you
Yeah.
can learn in pharmaceutical marketing. If you want something which, say, if you want to learn what are the various things that you learn in pharmaceutical marketing, how do you actually segment the market, how do you actually select a target market? So those things also maybe we can deal with sometimes uh, through a different session wherein maybe we can touch upon one aspect of pharmaceutical marketing and then we can address questions related to that particular topic. So thank you so much for your welcome, Juhi, and thank you, Mr. Pranav, for inviting me as a guest speaker for your session. And thank you everyone at Pharmacracy And congratulations to all of you. All of you are actually doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.